You have got to be kidding me.
It's just my opinion.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Sway, and as always, I have my trusty smokes, and today I actually have coffee. Not Coke, not Coca-Cola. Alright, so before I get started, if you like my videos, you like my content, do not forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification icon so you'll be notified every time I post a video. Do not forget to hit the like, the dislike, leave a comment, whatever. Alright? And as always, I'm just going to give you my opinion on the situation. Now, apparently Corey Goode pissed off one of his attorneys, one of his lawyers. That's right. He pissed off one of his lawyers and her mom, who did a lot of work in his accelerating ascension teachings, whatever. Now, she appeared on this channel called Forward Action Committee, a Council for Truth. Now, personally, this channel is not on my radar, and the only reason why I know about it is because it was posted on Twitter by my friend and sister Stina Maria, aka Stina Bobina. What can I tell you? What can I tell you? I saw this whole video, and I'm going to give you my honest opinion. Okay? I do not feel sorry for you and your mother. I don't. First and foremost, I would have been more... Now, I believe in being compassionate. Don't get me wrong. You two were victims of Corey Goode, but I'll get into that a little bit more. I would have been a little bit more compassionate and understanding if in the beginning, before any of this whatever, you would have apologized to everybody that you personally threatened to take to court. Stina Maria being one of them. And I'm sure all the cease and desist letters were probably from you. More than likely. I am not sure. I do not know. I am just speculating. That's all I'm doing. I am speculating. I do not know whether if it was you or if it was somebody else. All I know is that you did personally threaten my friend and sister, Stina Maria, and it wouldn't surprise me if you send a cease and desist letter to CW, if you send a cease and desist letter to Jay Widener, and to everybody else that was talking against Corey Goode. Now, I've said it many times, my channel is too small. My channel is too small, so obviously I didn't get a cease and desist letter, but it wouldn't have surprised me that if I did get one, it would probably be from you, and this would be a more personal message than it already is. Okay? But first and foremost, I would have been more compassionate and more understanding if you would have first apologized, or at least in the entirety of the video would have apologized at some point to anybody and everybody that you personally threatened with a lawsuit. Or threatened in general. Even if it was in another form or another. I would have been more compassionate, more understanding if you would have done that. But you did not. Okay? But you did not. First and foremost, I'm not going to be playing this whole video, from this whole video on this video. So I will be leaving a link to the video, the description box below, in case you do not know where it is. It will be right there. So this deals with somebody and since you put your name out there, and your mother's name out there, it is okay for me to say it. Okay, you volunteered it, so I'm gonna say it. The attorney Liz Lorie and her mother Nancy Hunter. Okay? Actually, I do feel sorry for your mother. Because I have a mother, and if my mother was taken in, I would be pissed off. Um, but I do not feel sorry for you, Ms. Lorie. First and foremost, by your own words, okay, and I'm just reading uh, in the description box of this video. It says after several months of hard work by Liz Lorie and her mother. Okay, just several. So you've only been working for Mr. Good for about, give or take, 7 to 9 months, more or less. Maybe a little bit more, maybe, but more or less, you've been working for less than a year. Okay. And I'm just going by your testimony. And actually, you know what? Let me play some of your own testimony from this video.
Yeah. So, well, this is somewhere that we never dreamed that we would be. We definitely don't want to have to do this, but we helped Corey and Stacy for several months. We started working with them. It was in the fall of last year. We helped them to create the online class, Accelerating Ascension. Worked very, very hard to make that class a success. It was very successful. It grossed over $700,000 in the few months that the class was live. It's actually still bringing in revenue because it's still available for people to buy. And
I'm going to stop it right there. Okay, so I was wrong. So it's been about a year. Well, less than a year, because God only knows when he told you to stop. Okay, I'm not going to go throughout the whole video and try to pin out the details on it. But for let's be honest, less than a year, you've been working for Mr. Good, Mrs. Good, both the Goods, and you helped to make them over $700,000. Let me see if there's an actual number here. Yeah, over. I think you said something like 750,000, something around that range. I think that that's what you said. But again, people can go to the video and listen to your whole spiel. Okay. I do not feel sorry for you at all whatsoever. Okay? I do not feel sorry for you at all whatsoever. Why don't I feel sorry for you at all whatsoever? Okay? Because for how long have people been speaking out against Corey Good? Not just about the lies that he spews about his testimony. No, 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 no! I believe Dark Journalist was the one that brought it to light about the data mining that he did, amongst a couple of others. But I'm just going to name Dark Journalist for one, that he brought it to light that he was data mining. The testimonies of many other people throughout the years of, basically saying that he was full of shit. Over the past couple of years, Jay Widener, he was the Corey's producer. He was the producer at Gaia for Cosmic Disclosure. How he's talked about Corey's bullshit attitude. How he would get aggressive. How basically, with the lies and this and that and the other. Jordan Sather, who was a bosom buddy of Corey Goode. He himself has said that he had to distance himself from Mr. Goode due to Mr. Goode's business practices. You were in this inner circle of Mr. Goode. And as the people left and right were leaving, you didn't think to ask. I mean, even before then, how many people were talking against Mr. Goode for many different things? My friend and sister Natasha Hines, who did something for the Sphere Being Alliance, spoke out on the way that she was treated. There has been, even in my channel, for crying out loud, I've spoken out against Mr. Goode and how his characteristics are the same characteristics of these shyster ministers that will take you for all your money, giving you some bullshit. Mind you, I am a Christian minister. And I say it because there are so-called ministers, quote-unquote ministers, that they will take your money, promise you the whole world, and never deliver. I myself saw the writing behind the wall, as they say, and I spoke out against it. Again, I'm just a small channel, but still, from the big channels to the small channels like myself, we have spoke out against it for a good amount of time. And within that time frame, what, you weren't paying attention, or were you falling for Corey Goode's, oh, the Dark Alliance? You, Miss Liz, you are an attorney. You are an attorney. Okay? You are an attorney. Regardless of what law you practice, I am pretty damn sure that when you were in law school, they taught you that you must fully investigate everything. Whether it's things, whether it's things for a business deals, especially for business and stuff. If there's claims that someone is a shady business character or whatever, I'm sure that falls somewhere in the knowledge that you received in law school, that is something that you must investigate. But you chose to continue, instead of investigating, because you were in love with the lovey-dovey words, you let that cloud your judgment and your mind. And I'm just going off by your testimony. I'm going off by your testimony, okay? I'm going off by your testimony. This is not an attack on you as a person. This is just, trying to see if you can follow my, the way I'm, this frame of thinking, okay? You as an attorney, let that cloud your judgment. And you drank the Kool-Aid. So yes, you are a victim. You are a victim. And I'm not going to say out of ignorance, because I'm not going to say you were a victim out of your own ignorance, because of the fact that how much information is out there for years of Corey Goode's BS, whether it's in business or the story that he tells. And you couldn't have investigated before you decided to be in business with this guy? So you're not a victim you're not a victim of Corey Goode because of your ignorance, okay? There are people that are, they are victims because of their ignorance, and then others out of stupidity. Because you chose, even with all of the information out there, all of the testimony, you chose to continue to work with. Now, this is just my opinion based on your whole testimony that you gave in this video on everything, okay? And then on top of that, you brought your mother along. So again, I feel sorry for your mom. I do. I have a mom. I would never, ever bring her into any kind of business. This is me personally. I would never, ever bring my mom into any kind of business dealing unless I have fully researched. And I mean fully researched, whether it is, just researching on the shady characteristics of a business or of a person that you're doing the business with or anything. I would never bring my mother along unless I've done all the research. So yes, I feel sorry for your mom. And I'm sure you feel bad. I'm sure you do feel bad because you brought your mother along, and this was money out of her pocket as well, as you stated. But I do not feel sorry for you. I don't. I can't. Again, you're an attorney. You should have done more research. You should have listened to all the testimonies. You should have really dug deep and find out the credibility of. And again, I'm going by your testimony. Okay? I wasn't there. I was not there, so I'm not gonna make a claim that I'm just speculating and giving you my opinion based on your own testimony. Okay? So based on your own testimony, I cannot feel sorry for you at this point. I can't. You cannot expect others to feel sorry for you, especially when the information was out there. The information was out there. It was your job as an attorney to check out the information and really research the validity of it, not listen to Mr. Corey Goode saying, "I'm being attacked by the Dark Alliance." Dun 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 dun. No. It was your job. You should have known better. And I'm not an attorney. But I sure as hell know that before I get into any kind of business with anybody, to really research. Now, I've been in a situation just like that. But here's the difference between mine. Okay, I'll tell you. Okay, some years ago, I got there was an evangelist. I'm not gonna name him by name, but I will say, in the Spanish community, he was a big deal. He was a singer and a preacher. Okay, I became friends with him, and what have you. Myself and my brother, we booked him to come to where we were at, so he can minister in different churches. Okay. Now, on the second time around, when we booked him, I was volunteering. Okay, mind you, we were good friends for a good while, for multiple amount of years before any of this happened. Okay, and so I was like, hey, look, let me for every, let me design your flyers. That because at the time MySpace was the thing, right? So I said, let me design your flyers. Your flyers, your posters, this, that, and the other. Okay. Now I did it. I offered to do it voluntarily. And I was doing it voluntarily. I never charged him. I told him it's voluntarily, as a friend to a friend. Okay? As a friend to a friend. About a week or two after, I want to say about 3 weeks, he says, you know what, these are awesome. I want to start paying you to make these. Let me pay you, let's say, $20 per flyer, which it's. I didn't mind because again he was my friend, and it was a handshake deal between friends, okay? Between friends. Now, again, he has never had a history of not paying. He has never had a history of shady business practices. He has never had a history. Compared to Mr. Good, this guy was a saint. Okay? So the first couple of weeks he was doing pretty good. I'm going with him on tour. I'm designing this, that, and the other. Blah blah blah. And he was paying me. After about. And I even told him several times. I asked him several times. I was like, hey, look, are you sure you want to pay me, man? I told you I do this voluntarily. I said this many times throughout this. He said, yeah, no, you deserve to get paid. Okay, fine. So the deal was between me and him. At some point, something happened. Mind you, he had an album out. He had a Christian album out, and under the record company that he was with, it was an independent label. So he would sell the CDs at a certain price, and he would have to send a certain amount to the record company. So every time he was selling CDs, he was first supposed to separate whatever that goes to the record company, because that was the contract deal that he had with them. On top of that, make sure that he separated for his rent, this, that, and the other, and this was part of the deal that I had with him, that once all of this stuff was paid, if there's anything left over, then pay me for the posters. At some point, he stopped separating money for the record company. Okay. He got like sexually aroused with these like really long dress shoes. I mean, like, I have dress shoes, but they're normal dress shoes. This thing was like a freaking like huge, like like my camera, like about almost 2 feet long for a fucking dress shoe. And these were like $100 to $300 pair of dress shoes that he was getting himself every week. And then he stopped paying me for the posters. And he was like, I'll get you next time. I'll get you next time. I'll get you next time. Next time never came. And then he left. He went back home to I believe that's where he was from. Somewhere. He doesn't live there anymore, so I can pretty much say, right? But he goes back home. I contact him about a week later. I say, look, you owe me up like $300, $400 for all of this work that I did for you. He said, what you mean? Well, you never paid me for this, that, and the other. I told you many times, many times, that I would have done this for free, but you're the one that offered to pay me. So don't offer to pay me and then don't pay up. And then he goes, well, let me talk to your father. I was like, first of all, dude, I'm a grown-ass man. Your deal was with me, not with him. Your deal was with me. At the time, I was living with my folks. But I go, I'm a grown-ass man. He's not that much older than I am, maybe a couple years. So I was like, first of all, I'm a grown-ass man. Your deal was with me, not with him. And I even had, because I emailed him prior. And, and again, the same claims, oh, I'll pay you, I'll pay you, I'll pay you. But anyway, I said, your deal is with me. You need to pay up, man. This was the deal that we had, and you need to pay up. I told you from the beginning I would have done it for free, but you're the one that insisted to pay me. So if you're going to offer to pay up, guess what? You better pay me. Long story short, I even offered him, hey, at least pay me $100. Because Christmas time was coming and, I wanted to get a couple presents, right, for my niece and what have you. Not even that. So you know what? I cut him off. Now again, compared to Corey Good, this guy was a saint because he never had any history of having shading dealings and what have you. Just something happened. All of a sudden, he, as we say in Puerto Rico, right? As Puerto Ricans, we say, "Se le subió el moco." His demeanor changed. The way he does, he just became too good, and his shit didn't stink. Okay. So yeah, I was a victim. Now, mind you, this is not $300,000 plus that you and your mother put in, plus the money that he owes you from all the work you did. So it's probably, it's a shitload of money, but still, it's the fact that he never had that history, and it wasn't until at some point that he just started doing whatever. So yeah, I was a victim. Luckily, it was only $400, but still. And I didn't, and I did, and he was eating food from my house. He was eating food from my house. He was using my heat and hot water. He didn't have to pay for a hotel. It was like, all right, so imagine the cost from that. All right, so yeah, I was a victim because he became shady all of a sudden. Corey Good was always shady. So yeah, you're a victim, but not out of ignorance because the information was out there. You're a victim because of your stupidity and not listening to the information that was there. Not at least from your testimony. I'm giving you, again, I'm giving you my opinion based on your testimony. Okay? So, I can't feel sorry for you. I can't. And the fact that you even said it later on in the video that Corey Good was like, well, shame on you for not getting this written down or whatever, or however you said it. But you know what, I'm trying to fix my light a little bit so you can see me better. Is that better? Okay. Yeah. But again, yeah, it is shame on you. For once, I actually agree with Corey Good. It is shame on you. Now, again, I would have been more compassionate. I would have been more understanding. Like I'm compassionate again towards your mom and understanding towards your mom. Not to you, because you should have known better. You should have done your research. You're an attorney, for crying out loud. That's part of your job. In anything that you do, in any law that you practice, that's part of your job. You gotta really research and find out the facts and all that. So I can't feel sorry for you. On top of that, again, did you apologize to anybody that you personally attacked, that you personally threatened? No, you didn't. So I can't feel sorry for you on that. Now I'm going to try to keep this video short, but what really got me ticked off is at the end. Now you're doing what Corey is doing, begging people for money. Oh, I was a victim. Please give me money, so and then it's like, I was expecting an American flag to wave behind you, right? With truth and justice, all you needed to do is say the American way. And now you're offering your own classes as well. So not only did you got screwed over by Corey Good for your own stupidity, now you're trying to screw over other people the same way that Corey Good is screwing them by saying, oh, well, come to me for classes instead of him. I was a victim of Corey Good, but I can teach you how to truly... That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. Come on now. Sheesh. As soon as the money thing came up, where you're begging for money because of your own stupidity, and then now you're doing your own classes, your own courses on the same thing that you got screwed over for, that looks shady to me. Now could you legitimately be, and we got to ask the question, could you legitimately be trying to really help people with these classes? Yes, that is possible. I don't know. I'm not you. But yeah, the timing of it, all of a sudden, I don't know. There's a lot to think about, my dear. There is a lot to think about. There's a lot to think about. You have to make up for your own crap. You have to really make up for your own crap. the people that you helped to screw over, the people that you threatened, everything. This is your karma coming back to you. Now, you see, one of the things about Corey Goode that I've always said is that he says, you know, you have to use your own discernment. But when people use their own discernment and speak out against him, you were one of the people that fought back to defend him. Now you see that he's wrong. Now you see that he's really messed up. And now all of a sudden you want to have your own courses and classes and things like that. What are you going to charge? $333? $777? What's your number? If you would have just stayed with the, hey, can you please help me with my legal fees, with my legal issues, so we can get Corey Goode, you know, bring Corey Goode to justice, I would have been straight. I would have been fine with that. I would have been okay. Alrighty. But as soon as you're like, but I have my own classes, go there. That's where it really pissed me off. All right, I'm gonna stop recording because in all honesty, I don't want to really go full forward on this. I have more to say, so pay attention, y'all. All right, until next time, I'm Sway. Love you all. Peace.
It's just my opinion.